Welcome to Nightmare Story. I'm Lucas, your guide through the shadows. Here the night is quiet, but never safe. Close your eyes, breathe slowly, and follow me into the places where forgotten footsteps echo and old fears wake beneath the darkness. This is where sleep meets terror. Are you ready? Tonight we step into a place you should never have booked. A last-minute Airbnb with glowing reviews, suspiciously perfect photos, and a price that practically screams congratulations. You're about to be murdered at a discount. You're scrolling through listings, the blue glow of your screen washing across your tired eyes, your thumb hovering undecided before stopping on the one place that feels like a miracle. A whole house. Near the city. Modern furniture. A self-check-in. And the kind of price that makes you think maybe the universe is finally on my side. Spoiler, it is. And yes, you probably won't survive this, but don't worry, I'll make it relaxing. Before we get lost inside the walls you're not ready for, here's the important part. If you genuinely enjoy my stories, take a moment to like the video and subscribe. Now, let's ease into tonight's journey together. You begin your trip in the soft hum of evening after a day that already wrung you out like damp laundry. Traffic lights blur into strips of amber, and the navigation app gently bosses you around. Turn left, turn right, rerouting you because you missed the exit for the third time. It's fine. You're tired, and your eyes feel heavy in that way where everything seems softer, like reality itself is turning down its contrast. The neighborhood you're entering isn't bad, exactly. It's that uncanny middle ground, the kind of place where people own lawn flamingos, but the flamingos somehow look stressed. Houses sit too close together, their porch lights flickering like they're trying to whisper Morse code warnings at you. Summer air presses warm against the windows, carrying the faint scent of someone grilling 2 streets over, and for a moment nothing feels threatening, just ordinary. The listing promised modern elegance, quiet atmosphere, and a completely private experience. That last part will haunt you later. As you drive, the houses get darker, quieter, almost shy. Your GPS declares with cheerful indifference, you have arrived. Except you haven't. At least, not mentally. The house looks nothing like the photos, not ugly, not abandoned, just older, more tired. The paint is chipped at the edges like peeling sunburn, and the porch swings lightly even though there's no breeze. You tell yourself it's fine. Angles and shadows make everything different at night. Plus, you're not about to waste another hour searching for a place to sleep. You park. The engine shuts off. The silence that replaces it feels heavier than it should. You step out. Gravel crunches beneath your shoes. Somewhere down the street, a dog barks once and goes silent, like it got shushed by something bigger. The motion sensor light flicks on, flooding the porch in yellowish brightness. And this is where the first little wrong thing happens. The key box is already open. Not broken. Not forced. Just open. Like someone used it recently and forgot to close it. The rational part of your brain says, probably the cleaner. The irrational part whispers, or someone never left. You grab the key anyway because what else are you going to do? Drive home? Sleep in your car? Maybe you should have. But no, you fit the key into the lock, twist, and the door opens with a long sigh, like it's been waiting for you. Inside, the air is cold, uncomfortably cold. Not AC cold, underground cold. You should turn around, some quiet instinct mutters, but you ignore it. You step inside, dragging your suitcase behind you, letting the door shut with a muted thud that seems to seal you in. Your first impression. The interior looks exactly like the photos. Perfectly arranged, minimalist, clean. Which is almost worse. Nothing lived in. Nothing personal. Nothing true. The living room is too symmetrical, couch-centered, pillows unwrinkled, a framed print on the wall reading live, laugh, stay a while. You whisper a flat, no thanks, because you're funny like that. Your phone buzzes with a message from your Airbnb host. Welcome. Let me know if you need anything. Generic. Polite. Totally normal. But the timestamp shows it was sent 3 minutes ago. Right when you opened the door. Coincidence, obviously. Definitely just coincidence. You try to believe that. You wander deeper into the house. Every footstep echoes slightly, an odd detail for a furnished place. The floors feel hollow beneath you, like the whole structure is breathing. A soft hum runs under everything, barely audible, like old pipes murmuring to each other. Then you notice the second little wrong thing. A cup on the kitchen counter. Wet. Freshly washed. Still dripping. No other dishes. No sponge nearby. Just a single cup, sitting like it was used minutes before you arrived. You swallow, the sound loud in the stillness. And then footsteps. Soft. From upstairs. 2 slow steps. You freeze. The sound stops. As if it heard you stop. As if it didn't want to be heard anymore. Your skin prickles, a slow wave up your spine. But you're exhausted, and exhaustion makes you stubborn. You tell yourself houses settle, pipes expand, old wood shifts. Maybe the host watered plants upstairs earlier, or walked, or something. Right. You explore anyway, because your brain insists that information equals safety. The hallway stretches ahead, painted a neutral beige, illuminated by a single ceiling light that flickers in a lazy, almost playful stutter. Doors line the hall, bedroom, bathroom, closet. You try each one, half expecting someone to be on the other side. But they're empty. It's fine. Everything's fine. You keep saying that. The bedroom you choose is simple. White comforter, 2 side tables, a small desk, a mirror angled toward the bed. The mirror bothers you instantly. Something about the way it captures the room makes the proportions look wrong, like it's a slightly different room reflecting back. You turn it to face the wall. Just in case. You sit on the bed and exhale. It's firmer than expected. The blinds are shut, the air still cold. Too cold, like the thermostat is controlled by someone else. Your phone buzzes again. Host, is everything okay? You haven't messaged them. You haven't even been here 10 minutes. Maybe they're being attentive. Maybe they monitor check-ins closely. Or maybe someone upstairs just told them you arrived. You type back, "Yes, all good, thank you." Then you set the phone down, trying to shake off the feeling that every move you make is observed. You lie back. The house settles. The silence wraps around you like a heavy blanket. And that's when the third wrong thing happens. A door somewhere in the house clicks shut. Slow. Deliberate. Not wind. Not pipes. Not settling. Someone closed a door. But you lie perfectly still, telling yourself you imagined it, telling yourself you're too tired to think clearly, telling yourself you have to sleep. You close your eyes, and you don't notice, not yet, that the bedroom door you left open is now slightly more open. Just a few inches, as if someone pushed it with a single curious finger. You drift uneasy into the kind of half-sleep where dreams and waking blend. The cold air settles deeper. Something creaks in the hallway. A soft, dragging sound, like a bare foot crossing wood. You tell yourself it's nothing, but the house quietly tells you otherwise. You don't remember falling asleep, only the feeling of drifting, sinking, slipping into that murky in-between place where your thoughts wander off without permission. Your body is heavy, your breath slow, your mind fogged enough that dreams start forming like soft clouds behind your eyes. And then something pulls you back. A sound. Quiet but sharp enough to cut through your half-sleep. Tick. You lie still. Tick, tick. It's coming from the hallway. A faint, irregular tapping, like someone gently knocking, not on the door, but on the wall right beside it. You open your eyes. The room is dark. Your breathing feels too loud in the silence. You wait, holding your breath. The tapping stops. And then, a soft exhale. Not yours. You sit up so slowly the mattress barely rustles. Your pulse thumps in your neck, loud enough it feels like whoever, or whatever, is outside might hear it too. You stare at the bedroom doorway. The door is open wider now. Much wider. Wide enough for someone to slip in. Or slip out. But the hallway beyond it is a tunnel of darkness, so thick it feels too heavy to be natural. The kind of darkness that suggests depth, not distance. A darkness something could be standing in, just outside your vision. You tell yourself it's fine, doors drift, floors shift, houses breathe, and you say it again like a mantra. You swing your legs over the edge of the bed, feet touching the floor. The cold bites at your skin. It's gotten colder since earlier, much colder, like the temperature is being drained, pulled out by something hungry. You stand, shaky but committed, and slowly walk to the door. Each step creaks, the wood complaining just loud enough to make you flinch. You reach the frame and lean just far enough to peek out. Nothing. Just the dark. You flick the hallway light. It stutters. Once. Twice. Then sputters out completely. Great. You reach your hand around until you find the wall switch again, and flick it up and down like an irritated parent grounding electricity itself. Nothing. The bulb must have blown, or something unscrewed it. You swallow, noticing the cold air more now, because it isn't just cold. It's moving. A faint, steady draft brushes past your legs, drifting from somewhere deeper in the hallway. A draft thick with that unmistakable smell of old, unused spaces. Dust, wood, and something else, something metallic. There's no open window, no broken seal, no reason for airflow at all. You step into the hallway. The cold envelops you instantly, like stepping into a freezer that someone forgot to close. You rub your arms and take a slow breath, telling yourself to be brave, telling yourself this is how every horror movie starts, and you're smarter than those people. You will investigate, but carefully. Your phone becomes your flashlight, dim, but enough to paint the walls in pale bluish glow. The shadows stretch long, sharp-edged, and unnatural, as if the house is pulling them into distorted shapes. You walk quietly, passing the bathroom first. The door is cracked open. You put your hand on it, easing it wider. Your reflection stares back at you from the mirror. But something's wrong. The reflection of the hallway behind you looks darker than the real hallway, much darker, as if the mirror shows the house as it's supposed to be, not as it pretends to be. You stare at yourself for a moment. Your eyes look tired. Your breath fogs faintly in the freezing air. You back away, closing the bathroom door. Next is the second bedroom, locked when you first arrived. You test the knob again. It's unlocked now. You pause. Why would a locked bedroom open itself in the middle of the night? Why would anything? You push the door open, just enough to slip inside. The room is empty. Totally empty. No furniture, no curtains, no nothing. Except a single mattress on the floor. Old, stained, sunken in the middle like someone had slept there for a very, very long time. Your phone's light trembles in your hand. There's an indentation in the mattress. Fresh. Still warm. You jerk back, stumbling out of the room and pulling the door shut like that could stop anything. Your breath catches in your throat, too loud, too shaky. Your nerves buzz, electric and hot. Someone has been living here. Not staying. Living. And not in the room you rented, but in the one you weren't supposed to open. You hurry down the hallway, not running. Running feels too real, but your steps are faster now, urgent. Your heart tries to punch its way out of your chest with each beat. You reach the living room and nearly freeze all over again. The throw pillows you noticed earlier, the perfectly arranged ones, aren't arranged anymore. They've been moved, shifted, disturbed. One lies on the floor. Another is upside down. And the blanket you swore was neatly folded at the end of the couch now rests draped over the armrest like someone had been sitting there, watching you walk by. Your throat tightens. You glance at the kitchen. The cup on the counter. Gone. Now it sits in the sink, filled halfway with cloudy water. Someone has been drinking. Recently. Too recently. You grip the countertop, steadying yourself. And that's when your phone buzzes again. You almost jump out of your skin as you check the message. Host, you're awake early. You go cold all over again. You didn't tell them you woke up. You didn't message them. You haven't made a sound loud enough for a neighbor to hear. You type, fingers trembling. How do you know I'm awake? The reply comes instantly. Host, I can tell. No smile. No explanation. No emoji. You stare at the screen, heart pounding. Then you notice something else. Your message status. Not delivered. Not sent. It says raid. Someone in the house read it. You spin around, shining your phone's light across the room, every corner suddenly suspicious, every shadow a potential threat. You feel watched, not generally watched, actively watched, the way you can feel when eyes trace every movement. And then, a soft thud above you. Upstairs, right above the living room. Not footsteps this time. Not shifting wood. A weight. Dropping. As if someone knelt down on the floorboards directly above your head. You tilt your phone upward. Another thud. Then another. Then slow, crawling movement. Deliberate. Measured. Tracking you. You take a step back. The sound stops. You wait. Silence folds over the house again, thick and suffocating. You whisper to yourself, "This is fine," and your voice cracks so badly you almost laugh at how ridiculous you sound. But something else happens then. A soft tap from the ceiling. Tap, tap, tap. The exact rhythm you heard beside your bedroom door. Like it followed you. Like it's letting you know it's still here. Watching. Crawling. Waiting. You look toward the stairs. You know you shouldn't go up there. But you also know whatever is upstairs already knows exactly where you are. And it isn't asleep. Not anymore. You stand at the bottom of the staircase, clutching your phone like it's the flimsiest of weapons, which it is. The beam of light shakes across each step, catching tiny dust motes drifting like ash in the cold air. The stairs feel impossibly narrow, like the house is subtly squeezing them closer together, urging you not to climb, or daring you to. The sound above, the crawling, the tapping, has gone silent again. Too silent. The kind of silence that feels manufactured, deliberate, staged. You take a slow breath, steadying your nerves. Going upstairs may be a terrible idea, but pretending nothing is happening is somehow worse. You know how these things go. The more you ignore something in a horror story, the angrier it gets. You put your foot on the first step. It creaks. Loudly. You freeze. Nothing responds. You climb another step. Then another. Your heartbeat fills your ears, the pulse pounding in a steady, panicked rhythm. You move slowly, your hand brushing the wall for balance, though the wall itself feels oddly warm, like someone was just leaning against it moments before. Halfway up the stairs, the air grows colder. Sharply colder. Your breath fogs in front of your face, swirling into the dark like faint smoke. Then, a whisper of movement. Not upstairs. Below you. You don't turn around. You can't turn around. You climb faster, heart thudding like a drumline in your chest. The stair railing feels slick, as if someone's damp hand brushed along it recently. You wipe your palm on your clothes, suppressing a shiver. At the top of the stairs, your flashlight beam cuts through the darkness and lands on a long hallway, longer than it seemed from below, too long as if the house stretched it while you weren't looking. There are 3 doors. One slightly open. One fully shut. One at the far end, barely visible. You step forward, the floorboards groaning under your weight, each sound echoing like the house is swallowing the noise whole. You approach the slightly open door first. You push it gently with your foot. The hinges whine quietly. It's a small room. A desk. A cheap lamp. A dusty office chair. And on the desk, a stack of papers. Dozens of printed booking confirmations. Names, dates, check-in codes. You skim the top page. Not your name. The next one. Also not your name. You flip through quickly, your breath growing shorter as you realize. None of these bookings have reviews. None of these guests left any trace online. Dozens of people checked in. Not a single one checked out. A chill runs down your spine so fast it's like someone poured cold water down your back. You step away from the desk, suddenly afraid to touch anything in this room. Your light shakes. Your fingers tremble. The floor beneath your feet feels thinner somehow, brittle. A noise behind you makes you flinch. Clink. The lamp chain is swaying gently, as if someone pulled it a second before you looked. You step out of the room, pulling the door shut with a slow push, trying not to make a sound. You move to the second door, the one fully closed. It feels wrong, even from the outside. Something behind it radiates a quiet pressure, a heaviness that bends the air. You place your hand on the knob. It's warm. Too warm. You hesitate. Then, from behind the door, a whisper. A breathy, fragile voice, barely audible. Do. You yank your hand away, like the metal burned you. You step back. 2 steps. 3. Your phone buzzes suddenly, the vibration so violent in your hand it nearly slips from your fingers. You check the screen. Host, do not open that room. Your breath stops. Your chest tightens. The timestamp says it was sent 6 seconds ago. You stare at the message, your hands trembling hard now. You don't ask how they know where you are. You don't ask how they know what you're doing. You don't ask who whispered from behind that door. You just back away, slowly, gripping your phone so tightly your knuckles ache. You move toward the final door at the end of the hall. The one barely visible. The one that feels forgotten intentionally. The closer you get, the colder the air becomes. Your light flickers, dimming with each step, as if whatever is beyond that door drains energy. Not metaphorically, literally. You reach the end of the hall. The door is small. Too small for a normal bedroom. A utility room, maybe. Or a crawl space. You reach out and touch the knob. It's ice. Not cold. Ice. And the moment your skin makes contact, something inside the room scratches. Lightly. Delicately. Like fingertips tracing wood. You step back instinctively, heart climbing up your throat. Then the knob turns. On its own. Just half an inch. Just enough to make a soft, clicking sound. You freeze. The air becomes razor thin around you. Then the softest voice you've heard yet, coming from the other side of the door. Are you alone? Your eyes burn with tears you didn't realize were gathering. Everything in you screams run, but your feet don't move, your body locked in place by fear. You whisper, barely audible. No. Silence. Then. Yes, you are. You stumble backward, nearly tripping over your own feet, and your phone's flashlight flickers violently, then dies completely, plunging you into pitch darkness. You gasp, trying to turn it back on, tapping the screen, pressing buttons. Nothing. Then a faint vibration. A new message. Your screen lights up dimly. Host, go back downstairs, now. Another message appears immediately after. Host, you're not supposed to see any of this. They're awake. Your blood runs cold. Every instinct you have screams that you need to move. But you can hear something on the other side of the small door breathing now, not whispering, not scratching, just breathing. Slow, deep, hungry. And then you hear something far worse. The doorknob begins to turn again. Not gently this time. Not hesitantly. Slow. Confident. Certain. You step backward. 1 step. 2. And then the door begins to open. Just a crack. But enough. Enough for a sliver of absolute darkness to spill out. A darkness thicker than shadow, like something alive is pushing it forward. You turn and run. Down the hall. Toward the stairs. Toward the faint glow of the living room. Behind you. The small door creaks wider. And something begins crawling out. You don't look back. You can't. Because you know. If you see what's coming out of that room, you'll never sleep again. You don't think. You don't breathe. You just move. Your feet slam against each wooden step as you race downstairs, the entire staircase trembling beneath your speed. You grip the railing so hard it burns your palm, but the burn is nothing compared to the cold force chasing you from above. Behind you. You hear it. A dragging sound. Soft. Dry. Like fingertips or knuckles scraping down the hallway walls as something crawls after you. Not fast. Not slow. Deliberate. Each scrape matches your heartbeat, your panic, your desperation. You hit the bottom of the stairs and nearly fall, catching yourself on the wall. Your lungs burn, your throat tightens. You can't see well, your flashlight is still dead, but the faint glow from your phone's screen is just enough to paint the room in sickly, dim hues. A new vibration buzzes in your hand. Host, do not leave the house. You stare at the message, horrified. Why? Why would the host warn you not to leave? You don't have time to question it. Above you, the scraping stops. Then a new sound replaces it. A thump. Heavy. Closer to the stairs. Then a second thump. Like knees hitting wood. Then a third. Like hands. It's on the stairs. Descending. Slowly. You run. This time you don't care about being quiet or careful. You race through the living room, nearly slipping on the hardwood floor, grabbing at anything to steady yourself. Couch cushions, table edges, the back of a chair that almost topples with you. Your phone buzzes again. You ignore it. You sprint to the front door, fumbling with the lock. The metal clicks loudly as you twist the knob, your sweaty palms slipping. You wrench it open, only for the door to slam shut again with violent force, smashing your knuckles between the wood and the lock plate. You scream in pain, stumbling back, clutching your hand. The door is sealed. Something is holding it shut. From the outside, or the house itself is refusing to let you go. Your breathing becomes ragged, your chest tightening as panic smothers your thoughts. You try the door again, slamming your shoulder against it, pulling, pushing, clawing. It doesn't budge. Behind you, the stairs creak. Once, twice, whatever was at the end of the hall. Whatever whispered through the door. Whatever followed you down the stairs. It's halfway down now. You spin around, back pressed against the sealed door. Your eyes strain in the dimness, trying to pierce the shadows. You don't see anything. Not clearly. But you feel it. A presence. Large. Cold. Wrong. Your phone buzzes again in your hand. This time you look. Host, stay in the living room. Do not move. You want to scream at the screen. You want to ask why. You want to demand answers. But you can't breathe enough to form words. You take a step toward the living room anyway, because anything is better than staying by the door where the thing from upstairs has a clean line of sight. You move behind the couch, crouching low, hands shaking. Your heart hammers against your ribs like it's trying to escape before you can't. The stairs creak again. Whoever or whatever is on them has stopped trying to hide its weight. You crouch lower, pressing yourself against the back of the couch, listening. Tap, tap, tap. Not on the wall this time. on the railing, like fingers drumming lazily, as if whatever is descending is playing, taunting, enjoying your fear. Your phone glows faintly in your hand. Another message. Host, they can't see you if you stay still. Your entire body freezes at those words. They, plural. Not one creature. Not one presence. Not one whispering voice. Multiple. You grip your phone quietly, turning the brightness down so the glow doesn't give you away. You press your back tighter against the couch, pulling your knees in. The air grows colder, then colder still. So cold your teeth chatter despite your best effort to keep them still. You hear a footstep at the bottom of the stairs. Then another. Soft. Bare. Dragging. Then a second set of steps. Lighter. Faster. More eager. Two. You were right. Two of them. They move into the living room slowly, sniffing the air like something hunting, like something searching for warm blood in a cold forest. You hold your breath. A shape slips into view. Just a shadow at first. Wrong in its form, too long in some places, too narrow in others, like a human filtered through a broken reflection. It steps into the room on hands and feet, joints bending in unnatural angles, moving with deliberate, predatory quiet. Its head tilts, listening. Its hair, or something like hair, hangs entangled, drifting strands like spider silk. It sniffs, right next to the couch. You resist the urge to cry. The second creature enters. Smaller, faster, skittering across the floor like a warped animal trying to mimic a person. It clicks its teeth, small, sharp sounds that ripple through the room. You stay still. You don't blink. You don't exhale. Your lungs scream silently for air. The first creature shifts. Suddenly, it inches closer to you. Inches. Your eyes blur with tears. Your muscles ache from holding so still your body feels carved from stone. Your phone vibrates silently with a new message. You stare at the screen in horror. Host, don't look at them. You squeeze your eyes shut instantly. But the moment you do, you hear it, right beside your ear. Breathing. Slow. Jagged. Wet. You stay frozen. You stay silent. You stay alive. Seconds stretch like hours. Then, from the kitchen, a sharp clang. A pot falling. Metal striking tile. Loud. Both creatures leap toward the sound, skittering away so fast you barely register their motion. Just a blur, a rush of wind, a cold streak of air. The kitchen erupts in noise, the creatures thrashing, searching, tearing through drawers and cabinets. You take the moment. A small breath. Quiet. Controlled. You don't run. You don't stand. You crawl. Slowly. Carefully. using the couch as cover, inching toward the hallway where the stairs curve out of sight. You move like you're underwater, each motion painfully slow, your joints screaming for speed your brain won't allow. Your phone lights up again, illuminating your terrified face faintly. One more message. Host, get to the basement. It's the only safe place. You freeze. The basement. You didn't even know the house had one. You swallow, staring at the screen, heart trembling inside your chest like a living thing trying to escape. You know you shouldn't trust the host. You know something is off. But the creatures in the kitchen are tearing the place apart, growing more agitated by the second. You have no choice. You move toward the hallway, trembling as you approach the kitchen entrance and the basement door you somehow never noticed before. Its outline is faint in the dark, but it's there, waiting, just slightly open, as if someone left it ajar for you. Or something came out and forgot to close it. Your hand reaches forward, shaking, slow. You touch the basement door, and it moves, opening wider, not pushed by you, but pulled from below. You stay exactly where you are for a moment, trying to convince yourself that the house finally settled, that the flicker of movement you saw under the bathroom door was just a shadow, that the strange heaviness in the air is nothing more than your nerves chewing holes in your confidence. That's what you tell yourself anyway. But deep down, you feel something else, something quieter, colder, and much smarter than you. You take a slow breath, trying to steady your thoughts, but your lungs feel thick, like you're inhaling air someone else has already used. You swear it even has a faint warmth to it, as though somebody is exhaling from behind you. When you finally turn, there's no one there, but the hallway seems narrower than it was earlier, as if the house is drawing its shoulders inward, watching how you move. You mutter a tired joke into the empty air, a half-whispered, "Great, now I'm being gaslit by drywall," and the absurdity of it helps you keep walking. The floorboards groan, but not beneath your feet. No, they groan ahead of you, one step at a time, like someone is walking just out of sight, leading you forward. You swallow, you follow anyway. The Airbnb feels different now. In section 1, you simply felt watched. Now you feel observed, like someone is taking notes on your breathing patterns. You keep thinking about the host's profile photo. Sunny, smiley, the kind of guy who says, "We're like a family around here," and means it in a way that gets you banned from future rentals. But now, walking through the dim hallway, you realize something else about that picture. He took it inside this house. And he took it from an angle that you still haven't found. The kitchen light is on, but you didn't leave it on. You stand in the doorway, staring at the warm, too yellow glow. The bulb buzzes softly, like it's thinking. The rest of the house is nearly silent except for the quiet hum in the walls, like a phone vibrating on an endless call. You edge forward, half expecting the light to blow out the second you step beneath it. The countertop is clean, cleaner than before. Your dishes are gone. You blink. No, wait, not gone. Washed. Dried. Stacked neatly beside the sink. You grip the counter, whispering a soft, shaking, "Nope, absolutely not." The house knits a faint groan through the floorboards like it disagrees. Your phone vibrates. A message from your Airbnb host. Host, hey, just checking in. Everything feeling comfy. Smiling face with smiling eyes. You stare at the screen. That smiley face is a threat disguised as a friendly bumper sticker. You respond, because if you don't, he'll know something's off. Yeah, all good. The 3 dots appear instantly. 2 instantly. Host, perfect. Just keep relaxing. You're safe there. Your thumb freezes over the screen. Nobody who isn't lying feels the need to reassure you that strongly. You slip the phone into your pocket and whisper to yourself, safe people don't say you're safe, creeps do. Another joke to keep yourself steady, even though your chest feels like it's tightening, like the house is waiting for a punchline that won't come. You hear a faint, rhythmic sound. Not footsteps this time, not breathing. Scraping. Inside the walls. Slow, intentional, curious. You swallow, backing away from the sound as it creeps along behind the plaster, keeping pace with your heartbeat. You imagine fingers or tools or something worse, dragging lightly behind the wallpaper. You imagine eyes on the other side, tracking the way your shadow trembles across the linoleum floor. You move into the living room because, honestly, it feels like the only place left that doesn't immediately threaten your sanity. But even here, something is wrong. You notice it the second your eyes land on the curtain. It's moving. Just gently, like someone brushed behind it. The window is closed. You take 2 steps forward, pulse thudding. You reach toward the fabric. Your hand hovers. You already know what you'll find. You pull the curtain aside. Nothing, except a small, circular hole in the wall behind it, barely wider than a pencil, carved with perfect precision. You lean forward, breath trembling, and see, on the other side of that hole, darkness. But not empty darkness. A kind of darkness that shifts. You jerk backward as something moves behind the hole, too fast to register, like an eye snapping away from a peephole. You stagger, hitting the side table, and the lamp flickers. The curtain sways again. The house exhales. You stand there for a long moment, frozen, until your phone vibrates again. Host, by the way, try not to cover the curtains. The airflow needs to stay consistent, helps the place feel alive. Have a great night. You don't respond. Because now you know the truth. He's not monitoring the property remotely. He's inside it. He never left. And the holes in the walls aren't for airflow, they're for you. You take one more step back, and something shifts in the ceiling above you. The sound above you is soft at first, just a tiny creak, the kind an old house makes when it stretches its spine. But then it happens again. A second shift, then a third, more deliberate this time, like someone trying to move quietly, but not quietly enough. You stare up at the ceiling, half expecting it to blink back at you. The plaster looks normal, beige, harmless, the kind of boring ceiling that should never command attention, but right now it feels like a lid someone placed over you. A lid someone is lifting, one cautious inch at a time. Your heartbeat moves into your throat. Your breath slows. Your ears sharpen. There it is again. A wait. A scrape. A hush of displaced dust. You take a tiny step backward, then another, moving as if your body has been unplugged from its own bravado. Every instinct you've buried under years of YouTube confidence and sleep deprivation rises like fog. You whisper to yourself, okay, okay. Maybe it's a raccoon, or a very confident squirrel. A squirrel with boots and a union. It doesn't help. Not even a little. The ceiling shifts directly above the living room doorway now, following your path with slow, measured timing. Not fast, not panicked. Tracking you. You stumble into the hallway again, and the lights flicker. Once, twice, like they're taking a nervous breath. The air feels thicker here, the way it feels inside a closet someone has been hiding in for too long. A long, quiet groan rolls through the house, not from the ceiling this time, but from the walls. The scraping returns, moving down, down, carefully lining itself with your height, as though someone inside the wall is adjusting their vantage point for a better angle. Your phone vibrates again. You nearly drop it. Host, you're moving around a lot tonight. Everything okay? Your blood freezes. How would he know that? You don't respond. You can't. The dots appear anyway. Host, try to relax. The place can sense tension. You close your eyes for one long, steadying breath, and then you pocket the phone. You don't even want to look at the screen anymore. It feels like you're allowing him too close, like your thumbs are touching his fingerprints through the glass. Something taps behind the drywall. A single knock. Then another. You inch backward into the kitchen, because at least there you can see most of the corners. No curtains, no creepy wall holes, no shadows creeping in from door frames that shouldn't exist. But the kitchen doesn't feel safer. Not now. Not with what's sitting on the counter. Your dishes. The ones you didn't wash. They're spotless. Stacked. Arranged by size and color. And next to them, your mug. Filled with fresh tea. Steam curls upward. Not old steam. Not cooling steam. Fresh steam. You stare at it as if looking harder will undo it. The tea bag string dangles neatly over the side. It's your favorite flavor too, the one you brought in your travel bag. The bag you left zipped. Slowly, cautiously, you step toward the mug. You touch it. Hot. Not warm, hot. Someone made this for you. Recently. Lovingly. From inside a house that shouldn't have anyone in it but you. You whisper, yeah, nope. Absolutely not. Tea is not supposed to feel threatening, and you back away again. Then you notice something else. Your bag. It's sitting on the kitchen table. Open. You know you didn't put it there. You would never put it there. The table isn't even clean enough for you to consider doing that. It had crumbs and dust earlier. Now it's spotless. Someone went through your things. You approach the bag slowly, fingers trembling, and peer inside. Your clothes have been folded. Your toiletries are lined up in perfect order. Your charger has been neatly coiled. And your notebook, the one with your personal notes, dumb sketches, half-finished horror ideas, and that embarrassing list titled Things I Would Buy If I Won the Lottery realistic version, is sitting open. Open to a blank page. Fresh pen marks scribbled across it. Your breath holds. You lean closer. The handwriting is unfamiliar, precise, thin strokes, careful curves. And it spells out just 2 words. I'm here. Your chest tightens so sharply you clutch the edge of the table. You want to move, to run, but your legs feel stuck to the floor, as though the house itself has clamped invisible hands around your ankles. You hear something above you again. Not soft this time. Not cautious. A thud. Something heavy shifting across the attic floor. You didn't know there was an attic. You lift your gaze slowly, staring at the ceiling. A faint puff of dust sifts down, drifting lazily through the kitchen light. Your pulse kicks, loud enough that you swear the walls are listening to it. You whisper, "You have got to be kidding me." A second thud. Closer. Right above you. Then, a dragging sound. Deliberate. Slow. Like someone is pulling themselves toward the attic hatch. Except you haven't seen an attic hatch anywhere. Your eyes scan the ceiling. Once. Twice. Then you see it. Not a typical square hatch. Not a clearly marked panel. Just a faint, nearly invisible seam. A rectangle of plaster, flush with the ceiling, painted the exact same beige. A perfect disguise. Now revealing itself, only because dust has started falling through the edges. You whisper, "No, no, no. If this thing opens, I'm moving countries." But the seam widens another millimeter. A breath escapes from the gap. Warm. Moist. Like the exhale of someone right above you. You step back 1 step, 2 steps. Your phone vibrates again. You don't want to look. You really don't. But you do, because fear makes you stupid in predictable ways. Host, don't go in the kitchen. You freeze. He's watching you. Right now. Somewhere. Somehow. Your hands shake as you slowly raise your head, back toward the ceiling, toward the widening seam, toward the dust drifting like snow. The attic door shifts. And then, very softly, it begins to lower. The attic panel lowers only an inch at first, just enough to expose the darkness inside. Not empty darkness, not passive darkness. A darkness that feels aware. You stand perfectly still, like your body has been carved out of every fear you've ever denied. The dust drifting from the edges glitters in the kitchen light, turning the air into a slow, shimmering snowfall. It would almost be beautiful if your survival weren't depending on absolute silence. Another inch lowers. Then another. The house seems to hold its breath with you. The hum in the walls goes flat, low, steady. Waiting. You don't blink. You barely breathe. The wooden panel finally pauses halfway open, hanging crookedly, as if someone on the other side is holding it, but undecided, watching you from the shadows between the beams. You whisper to yourself, I don't get paid enough vacation days for this, but the joke falls flat even inside your own ears. The air is too tight, too charged. You swallow painfully. Then the sound begins. A tiny, deliberate click. Not from above. From your left. You turn your head inch by inch until your gaze lands on the hallway doorway. The shadows there look deeper than they should, pulled tight like fabric stretched by unseen hands. Something clicks again. A small, quick sound, like metal tapping against metal. You squint. It comes again. Not tapping. Typing. Your chest clenches. Typing. Here. Your phone buzzes violently in your pocket, the vibration so sudden it nearly knocks the air out of you. You fumble it with trembling fingers, the glow of the screen feeling too bright, too alive. Host, don't look up. Host, stay exactly where you are. Host, seriously, don't look. The typing stops. The house stops. Everything stops. And you absolutely, wholeheartedly, look up. Because of course you do. Your brain overrides your survival instincts every single time curiosity whispers, hey, what if this ruins your life? The attic panel hangs open now, and something is at the edge. Not a face. Not a whole face, anyway. 2 fingers. Thin. Pale. Curled gently over the panel's lip. Just resting there. Motionless. As if the person attached to them is hanging upside down inside the attic, deciding whether to lower themselves or simply drop. Your stomach collapses in on itself. Your knees weaken. For a moment, you feel certain gravity is going to forget which direction it's supposed to pull you. Those fingers twitch. Just once. A small, subtle shift, almost like a wave. Then you hear it. A whisper. Not from above. From the walls. Right beside your ear. Barely audible. But unmistakable. Don't. You spin, heart exploding in your ribs, but no one is there. Just the wall. Plain beige, innocent if you don't think about the hollow space behind it. Another whisper, softer. He's watching. You take a step back. Then another. Your breath comes shallow now, ragged and uneven. You wonder if you're imagining the voice or if the house is finally speaking in a way you can understand. Your phone buzzes again. You stare at it like it might detonate. Host, you weren't supposed to see that. Your mouth goes dry. Your vision blurs for half a second. You wipe your palm against your shirt before gripping the phone tighter. 3 dots appear. Vanishing. Appearing again. Stopping. Then finally. Host, stay in the kitchen. I'm coming down. Every hair on your body rises. You look up at the ceiling. At the panel. At the 2 fingers that curl tighter, gripping the wood. Not letting go. Preparing. Something shift above you. A knee scraping against rafters. A foot adjusting for balance. Then, a slow, steady lowering. A shape emerging from the darkness. A silhouette. A head. A breath. You don't wait to see more. You bolt. Pure instinct takes over. Not logic. Not survival strategy. Just sheer animal terror. You sprint out of the kitchen, gripping the doorway for balance as you fling yourself into the hallway. The floorboards scream in protest. The light flickers wildly, and behind you, a thud. Heavy. Final. Something big dropping onto the kitchen floor. You don't look back. You run toward the bedroom because it's the closest door with a lock. You slam into the room, shove the door shut, twist the lock until it clicks, and then press your back against it. Your breath rips out of your lungs. Your pulse won't slow. It pounds like it's trying to escape too. The house goes still again. Terrifyingly still. Until footsteps. Slow. Drag scrape. Drag scrape. Crossing the kitchen tiles. Entering the hallway. Coming closer. You cover your mouth with both hands. The footsteps pause directly outside the bedroom door. A silence. Then, a soft tap. Knuckles. Gently knocking. Once. Twice. Then, his voice. Not a whisper. Not a text. A real voice. Right outside the door. Low. Calm. Too calm. You're making this harder than it needs to be. The words hang in the air like smoke, curling around your ears. You press your back harder against the door, hands trembling, legs shaking. Every rational thought has fled. The only thing left is pure, clawing panic. You want to scream. You want to run. You want to disappear entirely. But the rational part of your brain, tiny, stubborn, terrified, reminds you you can't make a sound. Not yet. Another knock. Softer this time. Almost casual. Like someone who knows exactly how your fear tastes. You whisper to yourself, yeah, right. Casual, totally casual. Nothing creepy about a stranger knowing your exact movements and hiding in your house. Your joke is weak. Your voice shakes. You want to laugh, but it comes out as a strangled sigh. Then the doorknob rattles. Slowly. Half a turn. And stops. You hold your breath. Your heart screams in rhythm with the rattling. You can feel him there, on the other side, just inches from your skin. And then, the quietest thing you've ever heard, a sigh. Not angry, not frustrated. Not human even, but not inhuman either. Just observing, waiting. Your phone vibrates in your pocket again. You glance down, and the screen lights up. Host, it won't hurt you if you follow instructions. You don't know if you believe him. You don't know if you even understand the instructions yet. Your fingers hover over the screen. Another buzz, another message. Host, go to the basement, now. The basement. You didn't know this house had one, or if it even had one that was safe to descend into. But something in your chest twists and you realize it's the only option left, the only chance you might survive tonight. You step back from the door, stomach churning, eyes wide, and edge toward the hallway. The air feels thicker, heavier. You notice the wallpaper shifts subtly, edges curling, shadows deepening, like the house itself is leaning in to watch you walk past. Every step is a small war against terror. Your knees knock together. Your hands tremble uncontrollably. You reach the hallway leading to the basement, a narrow, dark passage. The stairs are faintly visible at the end, leading down into an abyss of shadows. The air smells colder here, sharper, like wet stone and old metal. You grip the railing with both hands, feeling the wood slick with condensation or something worse. Your phone is useless as a light. The basement stairwell is hidden behind shadows, so dense it feels like swallowing darkness itself. You step onto the first stair. A groan echoes up from below. A slow, dragging sound, like someone or something is adjusting itself, waiting for you. You take the next step, then another. Your body screams with tension, every muscle screaming that you're about to fall, about to get caught, about to end up part of some twisted Airbnb story you will never survive to tell. A vibration in your pocket startles you. You glance at your phone. Host, keep moving, almost there. You swallow hard. Your throat is dry. Your knees wobble. A shadow shifts above the basement doorway. Brief, fleeting, impossible. You don't pause. You run the last 3 steps, almost tripping over your own feet, landing hard on the cold concrete floor. The door behind you, leading back upstairs, shuts with a quiet click, not a slam, not violent, just sealed. As if the house itself has decided this is the boundary. This is your side of the war. You hear movement upstairs. Slow pacing, dragging. And then silence. You crouch low, taking in the musty basement air. You notice the faint outline of a small window at the far end. Dirty, covered with cobwebs, barely letting in moonlight, barely enough to see. But it's enough. You can make out the corner of a storage shelf, a stack of old boxes, something shifting behind them, something alive. Your breath catches, your pulse surges. You whisper to yourself, "Yeah, okay. Not sleeping tonight, not ever." The phone vibrates again. You fish it out. "Host, sit down. Don't move, wait for me." You obey, instinctively, fearfully, because obedience might be the only thing between survival and whatever else this is. You sink down against the cold wall, legs drawn up. The concrete bites at your skin. The air smells of damp and old memories. You listen. Every creak, every whisper, every heartbeat. Waiting. The house exhales around you. The basement settles around you with a low, breathing hush, like the house itself is trying to match your rhythm. You sit with your back against the cold concrete wall, legs pulled up, arms wrapped tight around yourself. The air is icy enough to make your teeth chatter, but you don't dare move. Not when every inch of the house feels awake, listening, waiting. A faint shuffle comes from the left side of the basement. Then a soft thump. Then quiet again. You close your eyes for a moment, half praying it's just old pipes, half praying the pipes aren't alive too. Your phone buzzes again. Host, good, you stayed. That helps. You stare at the message, jaw tightening. Helps what? Helps him, helps you, helps the house. No answer. 3 dots appear. Then vanish. Then finally. Host, I'm coming down. Don't panic. Your entire soul panics. You scramble backward, deeper into the shadows, pressing yourself so hard against the wall you feel the cement pattern imprinting into your spine. Your breath stutters, too loud, too fast. You slap a hand over your mouth. Upstairs, the footsteps start again. Slow, measured. The way someone walks when they know you can't go anywhere. Each step creaks through the floorboards above your head. 1, 2, 3. You can tell he's at the hallway now. Then the kitchen. Then the top of the basement stairs. Your palms sweat. Your chest squeezes tight. Your ears ring with pure terror. The doorknob at the top of the stairs turns. As it creaks open, a beam of faint yellow light spills down the steps, cutting the darkness with a long, thin stripe. Dust dances inside the light, swirling like it's being stirred by unseen fingers. A silhouette appears at the top. Tall, lean, still. He doesn't come down yet. He just stands there, watching. You can't see his face. Only his shape, more shadow than human, more presence than person. He says softly, "I told you not to run." His voice is calm, too calm. The calm people use when they're thinking 6 steps ahead of you. You whisper, barely audible, "Please go away." A silence. Then, a soft chuckle. Not loud. Not mocking. Just knowing. "I'm not here to hurt you," he says. "You booked my home. You're my guest. Guests deserve attention." The word attention makes your stomach twist. You shake your head. No, I didn't book. This wasn't." He steps down 1 stair. The wood moans beneath his weight. You choke on your own breath. The shadows shift around him like something is breathing with him. Another step. Another creak. You slide sideways along the wall, inching toward the small, grimy window at the far end of the basement. He notices. Another step, louder this time. Not threatening. Warning. "Don't," he murmurs. "You'll get hurt. The window sticks." You freeze. How would he know that? He takes another step, descending slowly, carefully, like he's walking toward an animal he doesn't want to scare away. Your phone buzzes again. You hesitate, then glance. A new message. But not from him. Unknown. He doesn't own that house. Don't trust him. You blink. The number isn't saved. The area code is local. Another message pops up instantly. Unknown. He's not the host. Unknown. The real owner disappeared last year. Unknown. Get out. Your heart nearly stops. The man on the stairs, takes another step. Halfway down now. Close enough for you to see the edges of his clothes. Simple, dark, ordinary. Close enough to hear his breathing. Your phone buzzes again. Unknown, the walls are hollow. Find the panel. You look around frantically. Boxes, pipes, old shelves, cracks, but no panel. The man speaks again, gentle as a lullaby. You're scared, I get it, but the basement keeps you safe while I make sure the rest of the house behaves. Your skin crawls. Your muscles tighten. You inch toward the darkest corner, hoping he can't see where you're looking. He steps down another stair. Only 3 steps left. You scan the wall again. Nothing. Nothing. Window. Pipes. Concrete. Then, a faint line. Barely visible. A thin, horizontal seam behind a dusty shelf. Your heart slams against your ribs. You shift your weight, just enough to move toward it. The man pauses on the stairs. Stop. Your whole body obeys before your brain does. The basement hums, deep, low, vibrating subtly under your feet. It feels like the house is waiting to see who you'll obey. Your phone buzzes again. Unknown, move now. Unknown, he can't follow you in there. You make your choice. You break into a sprint. The man shouts, finally losing that calm control. Hey! You crash into the shelf, sending dusty boxes tumbling. A cloud of old debris fills the air. You slam your shoulder against the hidden panel. It barely budges. He leaps down the last stairs. His footsteps pound the concrete behind you. Stop. You slam your body into the panel again. A crack. A shift. A small opening. Just enough. You squeeze in, half crawling, half falling, into the narrow hollow behind the basement wall. Cold. Dark. Claustrophobic. But protected. You yank the panel shut. His fist hits the other side instantly. The walls quake with the force. Come out, he roars. The calm is gone now. This is something else entirely. You scoot backward into the darkness of the crawl space, heart battering your chest. His fists slam again. And again. The wall pulses with each hit. You crawl deeper. Your phone buzzes once more. You raise it, throat tight. Unknown, good. Stay inside the walls. Unknown. Section 3 begins the moment he breaks in. A crash explodes through the basement. The panel shudders violently. He's trying to tear it open. And when he does, the house will wake up. You press yourself tighter into the narrow crawl space, the dust coating your hands and arms like a second skin. The air here is stale, heavy, and yet somehow alive, vibrating faintly against your ribcage. You can hear it, the pounding on the other side of the wall, the footsteps on the basement floor, the low groan of the house itself. All of it together makes your teeth ache. You try to breathe slowly, but the air is so thick that every inhale feels like it's dragging through molasses. Your phone lies against your chest. The screen glows faintly, the messages from the unknown sender blinking like a heartbeat. Unknown, he can't follow you in here. Stay calm, don't make noise. You nod to yourself, though of course he can't see it. Right, you whisper. Stay calm, totally calm, like a Zen monk who is about to die in a haunted Airbnb. The joke is weak, and your voice shakes anyway, but at least it keeps your mind from unraveling completely. Above you, the thumping on the panel continues. Slower now, more deliberate, not frantic, not panicked, like he knows exactly how to manipulate fear. He's taking his time, savoring it. You try to shrink even further into the wall, curling yourself smaller, ignoring the scrape of concrete against your elbows and knees. Every shadow in the basement feels like it could be him. Every shifting beam of moonlight looks like a hand reaching for you. You remember something from Section 2, a faint seam in the basement wall that had been revealed only when the boxes were knocked over. That's your lifeline. That's your exit. That's the narrow gap between staying trapped and surviving. You crawl carefully, your stomach pressed to the cold concrete floor. Dust plumes up in tiny clouds as your palms drag along the wall, tracing the seam, feeling for the indentation that will give you entry. The thumping grows louder. He's moving, closing in. You freeze, heart hammering so loud you swear he can hear it. The crawl space is tight. Your lungs burn, but the seam is there. You push against it and it gives. A narrow opening just wide enough for you to wedge your shoulders through. You slip inside. The wall swallows you. It's dark, too dark to see. The air smells of old insulation and something else, metallic like blood or rust. You press against the inside of the panel, listening. The pounding outside doesn't stop, but now it's muffled, less immediate. You exhale slowly, trying to calm yourself. But the crawl space has a life of its own. Every inch feels like it's moving, shifting, breathing with you. Then you hear it, another voice, not the host, not the unknown sender, a whisper from somewhere deep inside the crawl space itself. You shouldn't be here. Your pulse spikes, you freeze. And you realize this is not just the host. The house itself is awake. The whisper slithers through the cramped dark, threading between insulation fibers like it has weight, like it has intention. You clamp a hand over your mouth because instinct tells you not to breathe, not to move, not to give even the smallest hint you're here. Your body trembles anyway, trembling hard enough to rustle the dust beneath you. You freeze again, every muscle locking at once, waiting for the whisper to grow, to repeat, to come closer. But nothing answers it. The silence that follows is worse. A silence that feels expectant, like something has stopped mid-breath just to listen to you. You inch forward in the darkness. Your elbows scrape rough wood. Your knees press into gritty dirt. Every movement makes a tiny, traitorous noise. The crawl space is narrower than the one behind the basement panel, more like a forgotten passageway, carved out long before the Airbnb renovations. You try not to imagine the reason it exists, why it was sealed, and why something inside it can whisper. Your phone buzzes in your chest. You nearly scream. Your hand shoots to silence it, but you see the screen first. Just a single message from the unknown number. Unknown, don't talk to it. You swallow, a dry click in your throat. You whisper anyway. I wasn't planning on starting a conversation. But your voice sounds too loud in this place, too alive. The crawl space doesn't like loud. You keep moving, inch by inch, breath by shallow breath. Everything around you feels wrong, like the space is stretching at the edges, or maybe you're shrinking. The temperature drops as you crawl, a cool draft brushing your face from somewhere deeper in the passage. The air smells wet now, heavy with earth and something older. You pause, pressing your hand against the wall beside you. The wood is rough, splintering, but carved into it, so faintly you can barely feel it, are shapes. Lines, letters. You trace one with your fingertip. It feels like a name etched hard by someone who didn't expect to leave. Another whisper rises. This one is closer. This one is different. Is that you? It sounds small, afraid. A child's voice. Your heart stutters painfully. You squeeze your eyes shut, biting your tongue to stop yourself from answering. Whoever or whatever is speaking, it doesn't sound like the thing pounding on the basement floor. It sounds lost. It sounds breakable. It sounds like something you could answer, something you should. You don't, because your phone buzzes again. Unknown, don't listen to it either. Keep going. You whisper under your breath, barely audible. Yeah, no worries. Just being tormented by ghost kids in the walls. Totally fine. Super chill vacation. You move faster now, not recklessly. Nothing about this space allows reckless, but with purpose. The ground dips. Your hand falls into empty air for a moment before finding solid soil again. The walls narrow. Your shoulders brush both sides with every breath. Cobwebs cling to your hair and face. Some brush your lips and you jerk back, trying not to gag. Then light. A faint one. A distant glow at the end of the passage. It flickers like a candle struggling against a draft. Your heart surges with something that feels dangerously close to hope. You crawl toward it, each movement guided by the promise of illumination. But the whisper follows. Close now. Too close. Don't leave me alone down here. Your pulse hammers. Your skin crawls. You do not look back. The passage suddenly widens. You spill out into a cramped underground chamber, barely bigger than a walk-in closet. Dirt walls, roots hanging like thin fingers, and in the center, a jar. An old glass jar with a candle flickering inside. Its flame sputters when the draft from your escape brushes past it. Stranger still, behind the jar, scratched deep into the dirt wall, is a date. A date from only 2 months ago. And next to it, a single sentence etched by desperate hands. The host lies, H.E.S. not alone. The candle flickers again. The whisper behind you grows louder. And somewhere above this tiny chamber, somewhere in the house proper, you hear the host's footsteps begin to run. He knows. He knows you found this place. And he's coming. Your chest tightens as you press yourself against the cold dirt wall, staring at the jar and its tiny flickering flame. The glow doesn't warm the room, it barely illuminates it. Shadows stretch and twist across the walls like living things, and the whisper behind you has grown into a chorus. Please don't leave me. It's multiple voices now. Children's voices, quiet, frightened, layered over one another, echoing faintly in the dirt chamber. They press against your mind. The words cut deeper than the physical fear ever could. You want to respond. You want to say something soothing, something human, but every fiber of your being screams that doing so might invite them closer. Your phone vibrates in your pocket. You hesitate to look. You know you shouldn't, but your fingers fumble, pulling it out. The screen is a lifeline. Unknown, he's coming. Don't hesitate, use the jar. The jar. You stare at it, the candle flickering, and realize there's something etched around its base in almost invisible scratches. You brush your fingers over it. Light reveals the unseen. Your pulse spikes. Great, cryptic instructions, classic Airbnb horror. You mutter the joke under your breath, just to hear your voice in the room, to remind yourself you're still alive. You grab the jar, holding it close, and for a moment the candle's warmth brushes your hands. The chamber seems to hold its breath. Then a low rumble shakes the ground. A scraping noise rises from above, louder this time. The host is moving. He knows you're here. You take a deep breath, the first that feels almost deliberate. You lift the jar and shine the candle's light across the walls. Shadows recoil. They stretch toward the corners and then vanish, leaving the chamber empty. No, not empty. Faint outlines appear along the walls, shapes that weren't there before. Tiny, thin figures, children, faces pressed against invisible barriers. Eyes wide, mouths open in silent screams. Some vanish as soon as you blink. Others remain, just enough for you to see the truth. The host wasn't alone in this house, not for years. The candle's flame dances, casting light into the deepest shadows. And then you hear it, the pounding on the basement floor above. Closer, faster, deliberate, he's descending. I told you not to leave the basement, the voice bellows. You clutch the jar tighter. The children's whispers rise in unison. Use it now. Your hands shake. You twist the jar, guiding the flickering light along the wall, shining it into the corners where darkness seems thickest. And there, just beyond the reach of normal sight, you see it, a thin, skeletal figure creeping along the edge of the chamber. Not a child, not human, not the host, something else. Watching, waiting. You realize the host might not even be the primary danger anymore. The house, these children, this shadow, everything is alive tonight, and you are the intruder. You take another breath. The candle trembles in your hands, flame leaping. Then, instinctively, you step toward the narrow tunnel that led you here, pointing the light toward the figure. The shadows shrink, twisting away almost painfully, as if the flame hurts them. A deafening crash echoes from the basement stairs above. The host's voice, enraged now, booms. I said stay. I said stay. The floor vibrates beneath you. Dust falls from the ceiling. Roots shake. The children's whispers merge into a coherent chant, urging you forward, away from the figure, toward the faint light marking the tunnel's exit. You move, slowly at first, then faster, keeping the candle raised. Every step is a calculated risk. Every heartbeat a drum of terror. But the tunnel is opening into another small chamber. Your path out, your lifeline, maybe your salvation. Then, just before you can reach it, the skeletal shadow lunges toward the light, twisting impossibly. Your breath catches. You stumble backward. The candle dips, threatening to go out. You clutch it tighter. The children's chorus rises in urgency. Go, go, go. You lunge forward, crawling, dragging yourself past the shadow, past the walls that seem to thrum in anticipation, toward the faint glow that promises a way out. Above, the pounding has intensified, furious now, as if the host knows you are about to escape. Your hands scrape against the cold dirt floor. The air is stifling. Your lungs scream for relief. And then you see it, a faint light coming from a small crack in the far wall. Freedom, escape, maybe survival. You push toward it with every ounce of strength left in you, feeling the darkness resist, feel alive, feel hungry. But your focus narrows to that tiny pinprick of light. The candle trembles, casting long shadows, illuminating the space just enough for you to slip through. And just as the host's footsteps thunder down the stairs, right as the skeletal figure twists again, you vanish into the next chamber, the light swallowing you whole. The light in front of you grows stronger as you crawl, flickering against the rough walls. Your chest heaves. Every nerve in your body is screaming, but somehow you keep moving. The candle trembles in your hands, shadows leaping across the walls like living things. You remind yourself, step by step, 1 inch at a time. You reach a narrow doorway, half hidden behind a pile of old boxes. The candlelight spills through it, creating a warm, almost welcoming glow, unlike the oppressive darkness of the crawl space. You squeeze through the opening, scraping your elbows and knees, until at last you're standing in a small, low-ceilinged chamber. The air smells faintly of mildew, but also clean, sanitized, not entirely unnatural. Your eyes adjust, and then you notice them. Shelves lined with old notebooks, jars, trinkets. Some have small toys inside. Others contain scraps of paper with drawings and symbols you don't recognize. It feels like a shrine, a place where someone or something has kept remnants of lives long gone. You crouch behind a shelf, listening. Silence. The pounding from the basement has faded slightly, replaced by a faint creaking above, like the host is pacing, trying to find another way in. Your phone buzzes again. You hesitate to look. Unknown, you're close, almost there. The main exit is past the next chamber. You swallow hard. Your hands are trembling, but you follow the instruction. Step by step, inch by inch, you move toward the next chamber. The candlelight illuminates symbols etched into the walls, cryptic lines that seem to shift slightly when you blink. They guide you, or maybe they're trying to mislead you. You don't dare stop to decipher them. A faint whisper brushes your ear. Finally. You freeze, your stomach twists. Not children's voices this time, not the host. Something older, older than the house. It breathes through the walls, a presence that feels impossible to measure, but impossible to ignore. You clutch the candle closer and press forward. The next chamber is larger, open, with a low ceiling and dirt floor. At the far end, you see it, a ladder leading upward, sunlight, or what looks like sunlight, filtering through a narrow hatch, a way out. Your pulse races. You move faster. The whispers behind you rise, a cacophony of voices urging and warning all at once. Go, don't stop, watch out. You reach the ladder. It's old, wooden, but sturdy. Your hands grip the rungs. You climb slowly, listening for movement below. The whispers fade behind you, swallowed by the darkness of the crawl space. At the top, the hatch opens onto an overgrown yard. Moonlight bathes the scene, silver and quiet. Freedom is just beyond your fingers. You push the hatch fully open and crawl through, rolling onto the grass outside. You lie there for a moment, chest heaving, staring at the night sky. The house looms behind you, silent now, as if it's waiting, watching. You know it isn't over, not really, but for now you're out. A final vibration in your pocket. You check your phone. One last message. Unknown, you made it. Run, don't look back. You don't. You run into the night, away from the Airbnb, away from the shadows, away from whatever has been keeping vigil inside those walls. You run blindly, the cool night air filling your lungs, sharp and sweet after the stale darkness of the house. Grass crunches underfoot. The shadows of trees stretch long in the moonlight, but they feel safer than the suffocating walls you just escaped. Every sound, owl hoots, rustling leaves, distant traffic, feels normal again, ordinary, alive. You breathe in deeply, letting the wind chase out the fear clawing at your chest. Behind you, the house remains, silent, brooding, watching though you don't look back. You know it waits for the next guest, the next curious traveler. You remember the children's whispers, the skeletal figure, the host, and the walls alive with secrets. It all lingers in your mind like a shadow at the edge of vision, impossible to shake, but distant enough to let you move. You stumble into a dirt road and keep running. Your legs ache, lungs burn, but adrenaline pushes you forward. Your phone buzzes one last time. You glance down. No messages this time, just a blank screen. You pocket it, ignoring it. You need distance, air, silence. The kind of normalcy you didn't know you were craving until this night. Eventually, the town appears in the distance, lights twinkling like stars against the dark. Cars pass, people move, life goes on. And for the first time in hours, you allow yourself to slow down. Walk, catch your breath. Let the normal sounds of the world fill your ears instead of whispers, footsteps, and scraping above the ceiling. You reach a small convenience store lit warmly. You step inside, trembling but safe. The clerk looks up, oblivious, ordinary. You pay for a bottle of water, realizing how dehydrated you are. You sit on the curb outside, sipping slowly, letting the tension drain from your body. The adrenaline fades, leaving you exhausted but alive. Even as you sit there, your mind replays the crawl spaces, the panels, the whispers, the messages. You shiver. You survived the Airbnb nightmare, but some part of you knows you'll never forget it. That house, its secrets, its shadows, they'll linger in your memory, a reminder that curiosity can be deadly, and sometimes the most ordinary places hide the darkest horrors. And yet, for now, you're safe, outside, free, alive. The world continues around you, and maybe that's enough. The night is calm now. You sit on the curb, feeling the warmth of the streetlights on your skin. Each breath comes easier, slower. The horrors of the house, the pounding footsteps, the whispers, fade into the background like a dream dissolving at dawn. Your muscles unclench. Your heart rate slows. Every inhale is a gentle reminder that you are still here, whole and breathing. The air carries the faint scent of grass and earth. A soft breeze brushes across your face, cooling your flushed cheeks. You let it wash over you, allowing the night to feel ordinary again, allowing the world to be quiet, safe. The small, ordinary sounds of distant traffic, the rustle of leaves, even a dog barking far off. These are comforting now. They remind you that life continues, that safety exists, that your pulse is your own again. You close your eyes for a moment and imagine each shadow from that house retreating into nothing, leaving only stillness behind. The weight on your chest lifts. The tension drains from your body. You picture the house empty, silent, waiting for its next story, while you remain here, grounded, alive. Take one more slow breath. Let it fill your lungs and release. Another, and one more. Let your heartbeat find its natural rhythm. You are outside, you are safe, you are breathing. The night stretches softly around you, a comforting, quiet blanket. Let it hold you, let it ease your mind. And in the gentle hush of the dark, know that you have survived. And soon your thoughts will drift, carried away on the calm, sleepy night.